That sauce though. Hey there, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Food Experience. Tonight's food experience, Sesame Chicken. And I'm following a recipe that I found in the Waltwins Outdoor Griddle Cookbook. And also, I follow the Waltwins on YouTube. You could go ahead and check out a link to this book and their channel in my description down below. Now, I tried this recipe last week. It turned out so good. And I'm thinking to myself, geez, I really should have filmed it. So I'm filming it tonight for y'all to see. I do make one little change, which I'm not really going to mention. Maybe they'll notice. Anyhow, without further ado, here we go. Here's everything I will need for tonight's cook. Brown sugar, cornstarch, salt and pepper, chicken, flour, MSG or accent, eggs, ketchup, sesame seeds, garlic, green onions, honey, rice vinegar, sesame oil. The recipe calls for toasted sesame oil. However, they do not have it at the market I shop at. Soy sauce, and I'm also cooking some rice. I've gone ahead and pre-portioned everything out ahead of time. It's always good to prep before you start any kind of a meal. Now for the green onions. Have to wash them and chop them up. Ta-da! Time to mince some garlic. Ta-da! And now for the chicken. You want to cut it somewhere in between 1 and 2 inches for each piece. Ta-da! Next thing to do is cook the rice and turn on your flat top griddle. Fortunately, I have a rice cooker. It takes about 26 minutes to cook rice. I'll turn on the griddle first. The temperature I'm using is going to be a bit over 400 degrees, but not by much. While we're waiting for the griddle to heat up, it's time to prepare the chicken. As you can see, I cut it into bite-sized pieces, and I have all the ingredients here that are needed. In this container, I'm adding the flour, MSG, cornstarch, salt and pepper. Putting the lid on and giving it a good shake to mix everything up. Next, I'm taking the chicken, washing it with egg, and putting it into the mixture that I had aside. Next, closing up the box and give everything a good toss. The griddle's pretty much up to temperature, and I've already rinsed the rice and starting it up. Putting a saucepan on the griddle, using a small bowl, adding in the water and cornstarch. Give a bit of a whisk to make a cornstarch slurry. Add a little bit of oil to your saucepan. Adding in the garlic. I'm using a little bit more than they recommend, but I like a lot of garlic, so kind of gauge that on your preference. You want to cook the garlic just right before the part where it's going to turn brown. You don't want it to exceed that though, and you'll know when it starts smelling fragrant. You'll know when it's good. Adding in some ingredients to make the sauce. Give everything a stir, get it all well incorporated. Now you could mix the sauce ahead of time, or you could do it this way. I honestly don't think it's going to matter very much. And a bit of sesame oil in there. Can't be sesame chicken without the sesame oil, right folks? And you're looking for this to get to a rolling boil. Once everything is combined, you could stop stirring to allow that to happen a little bit quicker. It's definitely coming to a boil. Adding in the water cornstarch mix. Stir, stir, stir. And you want to let the sauce cook until your desired thickness is reached. You may want to let it simmer for a good 10 to 15 minutes. Again, it's just personal preference. But right now it's still really watery, and it definitely needs to reduce down a little bit. The rice just finished. The sauce is definitely at the right thickness that I like. It coats the spoon a little bit and a little bit thick. Taking it off direct heat, adding some oil, and the chicken. Want to break that up just a little bit, get it all separate so it cooks evenly. Once you have everything in a single layer, you want to let it sit there until it browns on one side. Once it's been cooking a few minutes, you could certainly go ahead and turn it over and let the other side cook a few minutes, let it get brown as well. And if you need to add some more oil, that's perfectly fine. Once it's browned a little bit on the other side, then you can kind of start stir frying it. You want everything to cook through and through. Internal temperature of chicken needs to be 165 degrees. That's starting to look really good, folks. I think we're almost there. Chicken has a nice brown to it. Everything in here smells so good. Everything's definitely finishing up here, folks. I just temp the chicken. It's right about 165 where you want it to be. Next, the chicken needs to take a dunk in the drink. There we go. Stir everything up, make sure all the chicken is coated, and time to plate it up. Get some rice, some sesame seeds, and green onions. And with that said, I'll meet you guys back at the table. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Here I am with the sesame chicken and the rice. I also got some leftover sauce that I reserved. Time to dig in. I already know what it's going to be like. I made this last week and it was dynamite. Chicken has a nice crispness, but yet at the same time it's nice and soft and tender and juicy. Rice, nice and fluffy, as I would expect. I got a rice cooker, makes it perfect. And some of that sauce will be great on the rice. There we go. Would you like some sauce, Dad?
No, I got enough.
Okay.
But I'm wondering why, as long as you're talking, why won't put everything up, lay the rice out and then put the chicken and the sauce over the rice?
That's another way to serve it.
That would be interesting.
Yeah, that would be good that way. I would have to make more rice though, because I only made 1 cup to split with us. With that, I would make like 2 cups, 1 each. That sauce is so good on the rice. So good on the chicken too.
Also on the plate.
So how do you like it, Dad?
Terrific. Sensational.
Yeah?
I got a mouthful. Can't talk.
This is just dynamite. It's so good. That sauce combination that the Waltwins has, double thumbs up on that. So tasty. The only thing I did different than the Waltwins recipe, in their recipe, they recommended putting the egg in with the flour and cornstarch and seasonings. I didn't do it that way, as you noticed. I dipped the chicken in the egg, then I coated it with the seasoning. To me, that works a little better. I tried it last week the other way, and it was a little bit gummy and getting all gummed up with flour and stuff on each piece of chicken. This way, it was a lot more evenly coated, and that's why I wanted to try it. Definitely a great dish. Also, big shout out to Adam and Brett Walton. You guys make some great stuff, and I love following your recipes. I'm always so enthusiastic about it because I know how good they're going to turn out. And yeah, I'm just totally digging this, guys. Totally digging it. The green onions, the amount of garlic I put in the sauce, I could actually taste. Chicken just so tender. I always make sure to pull it off right at the right time. Got to be careful with chicken breast because once it gets past the point of no return, then you're done, you know. And you got to pull it off right at that perfect timing. And if you have any comments, questions, or concerns, drop me a line below. I thoroughly enjoy hearing from you. And until next time, have a stellar day. Be excellent. And most of all, remember me, I'm KJ Andy O, your food experience host with the most. Y'all take care, and I'll see you next time.